Mao Mao discovers the reality of Jinshi's frog, and we are proceeded to be hit with the reality of Loulan's disturbingly heartbreaking situation that she was unfortunately born into. However, as her home gets engulfed in flames, it is she who will try to right the wrongs of her mother and father. After the Crown Prince gets the squad ready to try to end this uprising as peacefully as possible, it got dark really quickly as all the kids, including the one we've come to find affection for, drank their way to eternal slumber, provided by the High Consort we didn't know we knew this entire time, as the cat-loving Shisu. From a corrupt mother that feels betrayed by the previous emperor, that in turn turned her into a vindictive bitch, to a pussified father that is supposed to lead them to overthrow the royal family, like that one time they tried to blast Jinshi with an older new school pew pew. Everything is falling apart for Shisho and Shinmei's plans, but the real question becomes, did Shinmei have a point? Turning to the dark side with an example like turning all the wives, like this poor boy's mother, into a universal cheek spreader. This comes as a result of the previous emperor being the worst kind of PDF file that led to Shinmei's hatred of her poor daughter, not daughter, Suire. Due to her being born by Shisho's other wife, who was the daughter of a victim of the former emperor. I think we've all come to the conclusion from the various tragedies and unfortunate trapped circumstances that two wrongs don't make a right, and being a vindictive bitch never ends well. With Shinmei's delusional vindictive ways and a prime minister that didn't have no balls to stop his crazy wife, the years of abuse of Suire from Shinmei, and not realizing at all who his daughter Loulan really was beneath all of his wife's grooming. This becomes the perfect climactic point for their character's demise, literally and metaphorically. And it is time for us, the audience, to figure out how this all came to be. But if there is one character we've all come to love and feel destroyed by her position, it is Loulan, aka Shisui, that we all want to see saved in the end. So for this video, we will be focused mainly on the Apothecary Diaries Season 2, Episode 23, The Shi Clan. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and check out my other anime channel where I focus on Frieren and Dan. So let's hop right into the episode. The episode starts off with a whistle, and we all know what that means. A man's best friend always wins, no matter how corrupt the world gets. With Lihaku signaling that our poison lover has indeed been saved, it's time our formerly known deuteragonist, man with no nuts, that is actually the brother son of the current emperor, makes his move to quell this takeover mostly peacefully. Jinshi almost gets blasted again by a pew pew, but in this world, a bunch of swords can still win. After an episode of the emasculation of Shisho, he walks out with total aura and a pew pew against Jinshi and the squad. As it turns out, pew pews do beat swords, but the man wielding it preferred his own death. This is a symbolic moment for Shisho, as we will soon find out what his true end goal was. The NPC snitches out Loulan and Shinmei's location, and Jinshi, having the ultimate plot armor, goes to chase them down alone, only to be threatened by Loulan with a pew pew. This is some crazy plot armor for real. Loulan presents the man that represents everything Shinmei hates, the guy that looks like the guy that took her super underage lady-in-waiting instead of her. All the while, Jinshi finally sees for himself the truth, Suire's real predicament, an actual long-distant relative, with Loulan trying to right the wrongs. She explains the PDF file emperor and the real string puller mother empress, who tried to get her son pregnant with some real baddies. The chose the Lishu types. Shinmei, drunk on social gains, thinking that she was going to be a high consort and make babies with the previous emperor, got a reality check by her own daughter. Shisho actually gave up on her once upon a time, as she was technically taken hostage while being outwardly displayed to the public as a concubine. It was due to the slave trade, in which the Shi clan was mostly known for, selling off slaves to foreign nations for abuse. And so, the Empress Bandit. It is here we learn that the Rear Palace's expansion grew as big as it did due to the leftover slave trade, in which Shisho suggested to the Empress after the ban. This way, the Shi clan can salvage their situation and save their hostage daughter at the same time. All the while, the Empress gets some more baddies for the Emperor. Everything that's happened this far, how all of the corruption led up to this point, didn't need to happen. As Loulan explains, Shisho had a plan to escape with Shinmei for good, leaving the empire behind. However, instead of choosing the high road of peace and happiness, Shinmei chose vindictive darkness. Loulan continues further Asure's bloodline, being the granddaughter of the previous emperor, explained through the symbol of the phoenix hairstick belonging to Suire, with Shisho accepting the emperor's request of taking his daughter as a wife. Shisho accepted and had Suire as a result, who was actually named Shisui prior. The emperor granted Shisho's request to release his beloved Shinmei as a slave back to him. All this happened to Shinmei's ignorance, and it was the previous emperor's foolishness that led to his granddaughter's abuse. Of course, the vindictive, power-hungry Shinmei can't accept any of this, as Shisho legitimately simped his way into eternal oblivion. She insists that it was Shisho that was the one in power, but actually it was her in power all along that led to all this embezzling and ultimately the rebellion, choosing corrupted followers over the ones with real reason. Due to the Shi clan turning corrupt under his nose, Shisho decided to burn the entire ship down along with himself, scheming to get all of the corruption together in one place before an explosion. Loulan pointed out that her mother's hubris has gotten the best of her, and if we know anything about this vindictive, egotistical narcissist, she hits her daughter and steals the pew pew to point it back at her own daughter. But Loulan, knowing her mother's fragile ego, she tells her she's insignificant. In a poetic end, it is Shinmei who yeeted herself due to the pew pew shooting backwards on her. It was Loulan who rigged it to work out this way, and it was Jinshi who realized Loulan had more to her intentions other than a nefarious one. Ultimately, it was a simp that simped for all the right reasons, or a person that felt maliciously spiteful until the very end, and it ended up being her own family, being the end of her. With the death of her mother and father, Loulan had to request for Jinshi that everyone that Shinmei got rid of in the Shi clan, like her half-sister Suire, be spared and forgiven. Then, the next is Jinshi's face, followed by There is no worse feeling than seeing a character trapped in a position they never asked for, and only having the best of intentions. But at the same time, seeing that she can be the one to end this cycle of corruption, along with everything her father did to get to this point. It makes a lot of sense, not only storytelling wise to poetically end with Loulan, but I feel like it was her choice to choose how she goes out. After everything she's been through, at least give this moment to her how she wanted it to end. As I don't think there was any realistic shot for the Empire to allow Loulan to live on. After all this deceit, all this rebellion, logically, you can't allow her to live. I mean, it's freaking treason. I know there's one more episode, but endings to arcs like this is always bittersweet, but usually it is for different reasons. I think this is the worst, best kind of possible ending that we can get, because Shisui is a universally likable character, and it's always painful to see these characters meet their demise. But it is because of characters like this that the bigger overarching lesson is there for us to understand and learn from. Overall, this was a good episode and a good ending, for better or worse, because of the long awaited wait for that payoff. The middle of the episode unveiled a lot of the context that led to this very moment, and I think the next episode is gonna reveal a lot more overall. So for the very end of Loulan's character, it was a very poetic end to an end of misunderstanding, corruption from not only the Shi clan side, but also the Empire side, mostly because of that previous emperor. So it looks like the season finale is going to be one where it's about picking up all the pieces to wash the bad taste in our mouth, to give us a glimmer of peace in the end, that maybe she's alive. So yeah guys, let me know what you guys think about this episode of the Apothecary Diaries Season 2 Episode 23, and do me a favor, hit the like button if you love Shisui's character, and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Check out my blog at otakusen.com, and I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.